Hi, my name is Sean Jones. I'm in charge of the Dark and Stormy Archives project where we support storytelling with web archive collections. And today I'm going to talk about installing Hypercane, MementoEmbed, and Raintale with Docker. This is giving yourself the DSA Toolkit so that you also can conduct storytelling with web archive collections. And if you're not really clear on what it is, please watch our previous video on storytelling with web archive collections to get an idea and an overview of what we're trying to accomplish here. Now, the DSA Toolkit provides a solution for each stage of the storytelling lifecycle. One, we select the pages for the story, and we're going to install a tool named Hypercane that does that for us. Two, we're going to gather information to summarize each memento with MementoEmbed. And three, we're going to summarize all mementos together and publish the story. This video is going to be just about how to install these tools. There will be other videos on how to execute and use these tools. So first, I would like to point out that this particular tutorial is available on GitHub and you can execute it on your own. This video is just to try to help you and give you visuals so that you can walk through it. I will be supplying this link larger in the video. You should see it in a moment, and then you'll be able to get to it yourself. Now, the first thing that I'm going to need you to do is I'm going to need you to install Docker. Docker is a platform that allows developers like me and researchers like me to create tools and share them with you, and you don't have to run the same operating system that I am. As you can see, we're on Mac right now. But because of Docker, you should be able to run Hypercane and Raintale and MementoEmbed on Windows with no problems. Or if you want to run on Linux, you could do that as well. So please go ahead and install Docker first. So I would ask that you pause the video here, go ahead and install Docker, and come back once you've got that working. And so you can see that Docker provides a nice dashboard once it's installed that gives you insight into what containers are running, what images you've downloaded, and things like that. And Docker is a very powerful tool. Okay, assuming that you have Docker installed, let's go ahead and move on. We'll create a folder named DSA Tutorial in our home directory. Now you can create it wherever you want. I'm just going to use my home directory for this example. And because of the way Docker Compose works, and in order to try to simplify this video and simplify things for you, I'm going to just ask that you create a subfolder named Hypercane Tutorial. And then navigate into that inside Finder or Windows Explorer. And once you've done that, I would like for you to visit the Hypercane website. The URL will show up in the video after I'm done editing it. And you'll see that there's a link up here to download Docker Compose file for Hypercane. I would like you to right-click on that, click Save Link As, and then just save it to your Downloads folder. Then we're going to take that file and we're going to drag it into the Hypercane tutorial directory. Once you have that, I would like for you to open a terminal. Now I've done this for you here. I have a terminal that's already open. So we will navigate to the DSA tutorial directory and then navigate to the Hypercane tutorial directory. And here we see our Docker Compose file. So the next thing that I'm going to need for you to execute is Docker Compose -- or Docker Compose Hypercane HC -- help. And what this is going to do is because it's the first time that you have downloaded, the first time you've executed Hypercane, it's got to go up to Docker Hub and download all the appropriate images and containers and other things that you might need. And see, the point of installing Hypercane is that we can do all kinds of things with web archive collections. With Memento-compliant archives, this is not just for Archive It or the Internet Archive. This can be executed against the National Library of Australia and all kinds of other things. Hypercane provides intelligent sampling of web archive collections. It allows you to discover mementos and create new mementos. You can create reports on collection metadata or named entities, or terms, or image analysis. You can go ahead and do clustering and filtering. You can score mementos and you can order them for your story. And as you can see, with all this functionality, there's a variety of things you can do with it in addition to web archive storytelling. We note that web archive collections are just a view into the many, many resources that exist on the web. And web archive collections also benefit from this, or we benefit from this view because the curator, the archivist, the person that created the collection, selected content that meets a particular theme. And so this is why MementoEmbed is able to do some of the things it can do, because that theme helps it understand what the collection's about. And with MementoEmbed, we can produce an intelligent sample, a manageable number of documents that can be used for storytelling and a variety of other purposes. Let's go see if our download is finished. Well, it's still extracting, but as we see here, we've gone ahead and we've installed Hypercane, and this is the output of Hypercane's help command, which is what we executed. Now, this only happens the first time. If you run Hypercane's help command again, then what you will see is just the usage statement. All this does is it just tells you what you can do with it. And so the parts of this command are telling Docker Compose to execute its run command with our Hypercane container. And then the command we're actually executing is HC. And Hypercane provides a variety of other tools, other commands, other actions that you can execute, like sample, where you can type help next to sample and get the list of things that you can do there. And if you need specific information on a particular algorithm or a particular subcommand, you can get more information that way. And so now, congratulations, you have installed Hypercane. And you can now explore it further in some of our future videos. So that's one of the tools that is important to use in order to conduct storytelling with web archive collections. Let's navigate up to our DSA tutorial folder and create a folder called Raintale tutorial. And inside this folder, we're going to, yes, you guessed it, download another Docker Compose file. So we will go into Raintale, Raintale's home page right here, which I, again, will share in larger font in the video once I've edited it. And we find this link, Download Docker Compose File. We go ahead and right-click on that and click Save Link As. And go ahead and save it to your Downloads folder. And much the same way, we just drag that Docker Compose link into the Raintale tutorial folder, and it's ready to go. So now we can go up, go into Raintale tutorial, and we can execute the commands against that Docker Compose file. In that particular case, what we're interested in doing is executing Raintale commands. So we're going to run Docker Compose run Raintale tell story, because the Raintale command is tell story. And we're just going to run help for right now because we want to be able to see that it's working and download everything. And just like last time, it's got to download MementoEmbed and Raintale and all the dependencies in order to try to make sure that everything is available to you. So while that's working, I'll give you a small review of Raintale. Now, MementoEmbed just produces information for individual pages. So we created Raintale to tell stories. Raintale generates social media stories for mementos. It publishes them to file formats, or it can share them on social media services like Twitter. And it also supports templates for custom output. And so we're able to take these mementos that we acquired with Hypercane and feed them into Raintale. Or we could go ahead and just supply our own mementos to Raintale. And we can publish many mementos with Raintale in a variety of formats. We have Twitter threads or GitHub pages. And these are different stories that have been produced with Raintale. We're also experimenting with videos, where one can automatically ask Raintale to extract the top ranked images and sentences. And then you can upload this video to YouTube or Twitter or someplace that doesn't support as much text as maybe you want to share. Now, this video ability is experimental, and we're still tweaking it. Raintale uses templates to let you customize the look and destination media of your story. You can go ahead and produce MementoEmbed cards and post them to Blogger, or you can create customized Twitter threads, or you can take the output of Raintale and put it into MediaWiki pages. But more powerfully, you can brand your own stories for your institution, as you see on the far right. We have a variety of components that we can add to the story, and we can put our own branding, your own branding, on the finished product, and thus feature your collections the way you want to. And we can summarize individual pages with MementoEmbed. Raintale calls MementoEmbed in order to do this trick, this magic. And you see all of these summaries represent the same page about the Egyptian Revolution. But with MementoEmbed, we can produce cards or browser thumbnails or word clouds or image reels, like we see with these folks in the middle who are protesting. This woman who has this sign that says, Mubarak, you go out, I go home. What this has done is it's pulled in the top 5 images and it's cycling through them as an animated GIF. And we're also experimenting with this other thing called a doc reel, which combines the images and text together in a video that you could conceivably post to Twitter or YouTube. So let's go ahead and see how our Raintale download's going. It's finished. So what we have here is you see a usage statement telling you how to run Tell Story, and information here on all the different options. But you'll note, just like last time, if we go ahead and run Docker Compose the second time on Raintale, we just get the help. We don't get the downloads or anything because it's already on your computer. And now, as one final thing, we can go ahead and execute just MementoEmbed. Now, Raintale already does this when you run it with Docker Compose. But if we want to run MementoEmbed alone and look at the individual cards and other things that it generates, we can run it with Docker run -d --name and then MementoEmbed and this other text that you see here. We run that, we get back some sort of hash value, and what we have is MementoEmbed running on our local machine on port 5550, and we're able to generate social cards and thumbnails and other things easily. Now, this is the same thing that Raintale would be doing if it was generating an entire story, except for it would be with APIs and other things. So we see that we've installed Hypercane, we've installed Raintale, and we have definitely installed MementoEmbed. And so I thank you, and I invite you to visit some of our other videos in this series so that you can execute the Dark and Stormy Archives Toolkit as best as possible. Thank you.